Crystal.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Yeah. Morning, how are you? How are you?
So Chris, how's your wife?
She's excellent.
Still traveling?
She is, huh?
That makes her happy, doesn't it?
It does make her happy. Yeah, she's getting ready to leave, it's the middle of the month. She'll be gone on a big long trip to Asia.
And this is with UVA grad.
It's with, the McIntyre School. So she works with their global engagement, director.
Is that a change from where you were, where she was?
She was at UVA clubs for many years.
Yeah.
She played with McIntyre now.
Yeah, I'm certainly a lot of what you guys are doing. So I think that is a change from when you and I were together.
Yeah, so she works for Carl Biden, with McIntyre School. It's great stuff.
Similar role though.
Similar role, yeah, but more focused on the business, underground business school as opposed to global
Yeah.
university. But yeah, it's very good. It is. So, for whatever reason, I think we more resources on business school than maybe some other entities in the university, right?
That surprised me because it's not a huge school
It's not, no.
in terms of the number of guys, kids that are going through it. In fact, I think smaller than Dartmouth, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In terms of how many kids are graduating on a yearly basis.
Yeah, they have a lot of the
My brother is alum from McIntyre. He went, that's where he got his degree. I never, I tell him now. I'm sorry?
Jeremy.
No, my brother.
Your brother.
I have a brother up in DC,
Oh, yeah.
who's older than I am. He went to the university, and went to McIntyre. And I told him that, I didn't know you were actually smart.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of good activations for us. A lot of our internationally come to town, they exchange friend days.
Yeah. Particularly interesting.
They come for a couple days and the conversation never gets dull, so.
Yeah.
it's good.
But I'd like to catch up at some point, so would you mind if I reach out?
Oh, you have contact with me.
I'll get, I'll find it. Yeah. Talk about where I'm at, what I'm trying to do. If you don't mind, I'll let you get some of your feedback. I'll let you get your feedback. Everything's good. My daughter just got married a little while ago, and we're like great. And then the three boys, the twins are now juniors, and the sophomores and their youngest are I have fun. They are like the most teacher boys. And I say that because we're in their company, otherwise I'd be even more expressive. But, yeah, they're not the home work. I see those kids and I think. But I love it. Others, my wife will find her way. No, thanks. They're like right now, they're in the bumper car. They keep looking without getting the ball. Great to see you. Yeah, I'll bring this.
Good seats over here, huh?
You're welcome.
You're great. That's probably my favorite. I think you're great. Your rhythm, your time, your diet, and all that. No, you didn't play golf. You mix it up.
Keep getting booked at the IT here. Well, no, just same old, and everyone's very light. What LinkedIn. So a simple platform. And it's Put their logo, how little can they? I want to be fair about it.
They're actually technically okay. If you do one pixel by one person, people might say something pretty small. True. References at the very bottom.
I not know.
All right, good morning. We got other stragglers coming in, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I've seen a little frazzled. Bear with me. I was at the bank for Ann this morning to get a wire signed for one of our closings, and said they'd have it ready. Guest in front of me, got there, had nothing ready. 45 minutes later, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't go through it. So anyway, I will get you the agenda once we get started here. And I just want to real quickly, just administratively remind you of a couple things. Hopefully I'm going to remember without my agenda in front of me. The first thing is that, if you are still interested in ordering any Wheeler attire, shirt, t-shirt, hat, whatever that we held off until today, Debbie, we said last Thursday, we said last Friday, now Wednesday. But if you're interested in ordering something, see Debbie before you leave today. We're going to go ahead and place that order for the bunch of people that have done stuff, so we can get that stuff in. Secondly, look, sometime in the next few weeks, we'll let you know, just so you, for planning purposes, for Thanksgiving, Christmas, that kind of thing. We'll do, I think, our 5th annual wine blending with Prince Michelle. Been in touch with them. Unfortunately, Kristen, the owner of Prince Michelle, lost her dad this week. So she's out for the funeral, and they're supposed to get back in touch with you next week. So we'll get that taken care of. But we're trying to get it so that we'll have it back by the Thanksgiving time frame. So if you're doing any sort of client parties or pop pies or whatever the case may be, you want to do that, you can order that. Also, don't forget the general membership meeting tomorrow. Thursday, I'm pretty sure it's at the Holiday Inn. So that's at 8:30, and then if you want to take a 1-hour CE class at 10, you can. Most of you have taken that class because I've taught it in here a number of times. It's a 1-hour piece legal update, emerging trends. So make sure if you've already taken it, you don't take it again. And there are a couple other things that I'll remember once I print out the agenda. But I want to give Chris and Jeremy a time to talk a little bit about what Stanley Martin's doing in the marketplace. And then we give the rest of the time to Stacy so she can really bring you up to date in regards to not just leading RE and all the things going on there, but what she learns as she travels around the country in regards to trends and things that are going on in the marketplace. So without any further ado, Chris, Jeremy, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michael. So I'm Chris Silvas from Stanley Martin Homes, Jeremy Rowe. I asked to come in today to kind of give everybody a little bit of an update on exciting stuff we have going on in Crozet. We haven't been out in a while. Most of you are familiar with Western Ridge and the Foothill Crossing neighborhood that's behind it. We've begun construction on what's called Glenbrook at Foothill Crossing, which is the next parcel of ground behind it. We're building a villa product out there, attached one-level living product with bedrooms 2 and 3 upstairs, optional 4-bedroom up there, but designed for that kind of aging in place lifestyle. I brought this map, and Jeremy has copies of it in his brochure for you, and you can certainly examine it in any one of our models. But this gives you kind of a full outline of Crozet, the neighborhood we built in, but most importantly, how this new section of Glenbrook and Foothill Crossing is really going to tie the existing neighborhoods into downtown Crozet and provide walkability to really connecting Crozet as a town in which it's been comprised of compartmentalized locations. It all seamlessly come together. So Glenbrook at Foothill Crossing is right, like I said, in the backside of Foothill Crossing, which you enter through Western Ridge. The road will then connect into Parkside Village, right behind Claudius Crozet Park. That'll be all sort of a sidewalk that will then get you to downtown Crozet, Far Downers, Piedmont Place, all the locations there in downtown Crozet. So it's a real instrumental neighborhood that will connect Westlake and Foothill Crossing, and all the other existing neighborhoods back there. So I invite you to come out. The views are amazing. They're unrivaled, I would say, in a lot of different ways than a lot of the other neighborhoods in Crozet. It's just, yeah, you just gotta come out and see it. I can't describe it. If you go onto our website and you click on the Glenbrook and Foothill Crossing page, you can see a picture we took of the sunset out there. It's amazing. It's worth the trip out. These are just some quick rendered, visually rendered, magic of technology these days. This is what our model will look like when it's complete. It's right now being framed. We'll have it done in December, and you know, big open floor plan. It's two-car garage. Has anybody seen our Charlotte's Villa campaign that we've been running? Okay, pretty happy with that campaign that our marketing department came up with. We're really going into the villa market pretty heavily. We're offering them Spring Creek, we're offering them in town at Affinity, and also out here at Glenbrook at Foothill Crossing. So make sure you get a chance to take a look at those. I think it's going to fit a lot of needs, not only for the downsizer, but also for even families. You know, affordably priced out in Spring Creek starting at $299. Jeremy's neighborhood you start at?
I started at $364 now.
Yeah, so in addition to, you know, bringing really well-designed floor plans, we're trying to bring some affordability to Western Albemarle and those other markets. I think that's all we've got. Jeremy left some
Talk a little bit about parade.
Yeah, some great homes. We've got this model. You can see this model at Spring Creek. We have it open for this week for the parade homes. We're going to offer our Westlake and Foothill Crossing model open for the parade as well. In addition to Whittington, it's always a fan favorite out there, and Affinity Townhome, our brand new Affinity Townhome. That's been our busiest neighborhood. For those of you that've been around a while, Affinity is on Avon Street. I don't know if you've been back there lately, but we're developing another section in the back with 51 townhomes and 51 villas, and it's been a really brisk sales pace out there. We have some move-in ready inventory as well that can help you guys with buyers that need something sooner rather than later. And we've been averaging about 4 to 5 sales out there a month, so it's been really good. Something else you'll notice in our parade homes this year is all of our models moving forward will be equipped with solar, with a partnership through Segura Solar. So there'll be representatives from Segura in all of our locations as well to talk about that. And so we look to really have a lead the trend in that.
Questions?
How does the full market?
I see it coming back. Last 2 weeks have been really busy. You know, I think the rain got everybody kind of cooped up for a little while. At least that's the excuse I'm using. But I think that the last 2 weeks, things have really perked up. Traffic this past weekend was really great in all of our neighborhoods. A little sunshine will do that, and I'm excited for the parade. So all indications are that we still have a need for you know, new housing and taking advantage of it.
Well, other questions, thoughts? What do you call it, the elephant in the room, talking about your changes in regards to commission.
Yes, so we've adjusted our commission structures for co-opting with realtors. What we found is that we've been faced with headwinds with regards to erosion of cost and profitability in our homes. And what we have decided to do is share that with you all. It may not feel great, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep the houses affordable as opposed to just raising prices blindly and shutting off the velocity which you guys have helped us create. So we have adjusted a commission structure that we now pay on the base price of the house as opposed to the house with the options. I have talked with many realtors in the room. I don't know if I talked specifically with any of you about it, but it seems to be perceived as well as it can be. Again, we're trying to not, again, make this an unaffordable venture. You know, lumber's gone up, all the commodities have increased. We've seen probably 6 to 7% price increases in the last 8 months. Lumber is coming back down a little bit, which feels pretty good, but that is one way that we've been trying to able to keep our prices, for instance, in Spring Creek at $299 as opposed to $319, or Affinity at $294 as opposed to $300,000 threshold. We find that when we get folks that some of our neighborhoods, when we cap over those milestone numbers, that the traffic falls off.
So I get the base, but I heard also that you reduced from 3 to 2.5. Is that incorrect?
No, we did 2.5 on a cash product. So, so townhomes, the villa product, all single families are at 3, attached townhome products at 2.5. Yeah.
Is there an average, 290 is a base, Infinity, what's the average markup on all the amenities?
The average, like, how many options people put in an Infinity?
What's an average?
I would say our average sales price in Infinity is around $315. Yeah.
Are you going across the mountain to Augusta County?
We are going across to Augusta County. So we had our developer roundtable, and Drew Holsworth spoke at that at the last CARD meeting. And he had mentioned that we are going to be building homes in Waynesboro. I believe that's a 2019 endeavor. I don't have specifics on that yet, but I will certainly pass those along with great excitement as soon as I have them.
And those would be single family, or are you gonna have some?
It'll be villas.
Villas, okay.
Yeah, attached product is very, very popular for us right now. In all segments across the marketplace, you know, I always thought townhomes, first time buyer, but we're certainly see it with lateral buyers, move down buyers, you know, retirees, even with the townhomes. It's based on affordability right now. You know, I think this generation of what I'll call millennial buyer is so disciplined with their spending that they have a number that they're going to buy at, and they're not going to spend any more money. You know, you can talk about payments with them and price, you know, $10,000 in sales price is going to cost you only X amount of dollars a month, and they're not doing it. So, you know, we have beautiful rooftop terraces at Affinity, again, breathtaking Carter Mountain views out there, and you know, we're selling a lot of homes without it. People are just not finding it necessary. So,
You find very many older seniors buying your new, everything is so many stories.
yeah, so this villa product is designed to get exactly the opposite of that. So it's first floor master bedroom, 2-car garage, laundry, kitchen, everything on one level, 3-foot doorways, so you don't have any barrier staging in place. Stepless entries into the garages, so very much like that. However, we are seeing many retirees, I'll call them, buying the cash product in the townhomes. They want to be in these suburban range, you know, suburban, urban. So, you know, Affinity with Fifth Street stationing opening up and all of the things that have happened there. You know, Affinity's right around the corner from there, and so that's what's driving the location.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you
Thank you.
being here. Thanks for the food too. Actually, give us I felt like it was important for, you know, you all to understand what they're doing in regards to commission investment stuff. Obviously, that's it's a trend. Ryan started it almost a year ago with their 2%, but once you saw second one, it's 3%. And I think other builders started to watch that and see if it impacted them anyway. And I don't think that's because of the product that they're building. It didn't impact them, and therefore now other folks are looking at that. You know, it is what it is. I just want to make sure you were aware that was the case.
Couple questions. So what are they doing in Northern Virginia with builders? What are they offer?
I have no idea. They
I'm
usually,
sure they're following.
no, they probably led.
That's what I mean. You can't do following, and I wonder, sometimes they go, no.
I never saw that. Service of the base and those kind of things.
What's the inventory new home like? You know? Like a month of new homes are available?
Well, as he said, I mean, again, that'll come out this next week with CAR. But my guess is you're gonna be over 20% again before they sold in the marketplace in construction. And as you just said, there are some move-in.
Yeah, they have something, do you have any idea what the?
Ryan said that they, in their last email blast, they had some move-in, ready stuff as well. So I think he's right. I think it slowed down. We're all hoping that all is going to pick back up. But I think one of the reasons that the builders have slowed down is that you can't buy anything in there and not get in until after 2019. So anybody who wants to be in right now, they have to wait. So, anyway, good information. Again, I'd encourage you over these next visit parade if you have time and meet the reps and get a feel for what's going on. I want to give the rest of the time to my friend Stacy. Stacy's been with Leading RE for quite some time, and we've had the privilege of having her as our rep for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. We had dinner last night, Chris and I had dinner last night with Stacy and Dottie, and I'm excited about what she has to share with you guys today, not only about what Leading RE is doing, but just all the different things that are going on in the marketplace and the way leading real estate companies of the world is addressing those things, the disruptors out there, different, the online stuff that's happening. But the bottom line, I hope what you'll do is leave here is understand why we're part of this thing. Most of you know the story that when I came here from Long and Foster in 2005, first thing I did was got ourselves into the Leading RE network because I believed in it. And we had it at Long and Foster. I saw the just the awesome aspect of it, what it did for the company, and I had to kind of smoke and mirror it a little bit to get in. Our friend Carol Clark did not want it to happen, so I had to really work hard to finesse us in, and we did. And I think it's been a great partnership for almost 13 years now. So without any further ado, let's give Stacy a big hand.
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me. It's been a little bit of time since I've been back here. So, and you guys are a little more familiar crew, so I'm trying to be as professional as possible. I came in and ate my yogurt and ate some of those muffins like this is my sales meeting, but it's not. So let's get into today, what we're going to cover today. I want to talk about the Leading RE story for some of those of you who are new or need a recap. Who is Leading Real Estate Companies World? How many of your clients don't know anything about us? Why is that the design? We're going to talk about how you maximize this affiliation. Why is it important to you out there? Why is it important to your clients? And how do you make money from the relationship? Industry leading events. I've never really seen anybody but Michael or Chris come to our events. I'm hoping that changes in 2019. And I'm going to tell you why I think that's so important. I know it's tough to leave what's happening in business here, but I can strongly suggest that this time, more than any time, is a good opportunity to think about attending our annual conference. We'll get into that. I'm going to client introductions, and then I'm going to end with the top 5 luxury portfolio tips. So Leading RE really pared it down to 3 things that we represent: quality, connections, and independence. And I always tout this stat, but it goes along with what Michael was saying, is that we really turn down 80% of the folks that come to the table. We go through a rigorous process with each company, and we lose probably 5%, 2 to 5% attrition each year. So it's not like we sign up companies left and right, they come, they leave. That is not how this relationship works. Many of them have been with us for 40 years, 60 years, 5 years, and it's a real marriage between the company and the affiliate. So let me define why why we only have 20% in the network. You have to be top 5 in your market to qualify to be a leading company, leading real estate companies in the world. You have to have bricks and mortar. We don't work with virtual companies. And you have to be locally owned. Now, I know some of you hear Long and Foster and you say, well, they're not locally owned. And that's true. They're a franchise. We have 12 companies like Long and Foster, Pride Lake, Windermere on the Pacific Northwest, and Long and Foster, Pride Lake, Shore West, a few handful of them. And they are different in our minds compared to a franchise because the broker owner is still the one who runs the day-to-day. They don't pay franchise fees to the corporate, and they're not globally or national. You don't see, thank you. You don't see Long and Foster over on the Pacific Northwest, on the Atlantic region. So we do see that, and we're actually seeing more and more acquisition with companies, but I'll get into that. So quality, invitation-only network, we don't take anyone who signs a check. It's very opposite of the franchise models that exist out there today. Keller Williams, Remax, Century 21, even Berkshire Hathaway affiliates. 80% of the inquiries turned away. High standards to be retained in membership. We also look at our members to make sure they're still not top 5 in the independents in their market. And then there's something unique in real estate where there's not a group of independent companies. There's marketing arms like Christie's Great Estates and such, and a few others, but nothing like a big network that's a powerhouse that does business together within this community. In terms of connections, this is one of the best benefits of this network. And I encourage you, if you can't make it to some of our annual conferences, when you're traveling around to talk, to go see some of our companies, to get the Royal name out there, to get your name out there, whether that you're going to Denver, Atlanta, Charlotte, talk to Michael or talk to Chris about who's our affiliate there. You can also look on leadingre.com and say, you know what, I am going to hit Denver. It's a good tax write-off as well if you're there. And a good way to meet other folks that are part, say, hey, I'm a Leading RE member, I was in town, I just want to pop by. I think that makes you, puts you on a global scale as a realtor. So meaningful connections, shared programs that we do, and a real high degree of loyalty and trust. I think even though you have some in-network competition, we call it co-opetition. Michael gets together with some of these folks, they work and they share ideas, and we really define the competition as the bigger group out there, the Sotheby's, the Century 21, ERA, Exist, Keller Williams, Remax, etc. 70 countries when I was here last time, I think that was in the 60s, but when I was here the very first time 4 years ago, that was in the 30s. So you can see our initiative is really global growth. And you may say, well, Stacey, in this market, our clients really don't care. This is a local market. People do business locally. My clients don't need global reach or global services. Well, that's not the point. The perception is that your clients want to know that even though you're the dominant local leader, that you have resources when come time to global affiliates. And it's not like you guys are some Keller Williams who sat there signed in Canada. You actually know the Canadian local affiliate there in Toronto or Montreal or et cetera. So we have a different mindset when it comes to that. It's quite opposite of the franchises. Franchises, we do feel like they just license their name out and put their logo there, but they don't really have those connections that we do with Leading RE. So to date, we are 565 companies, over 70 countries, and growing in that space. This is what the group looks like. Obviously, they've had a few cocktails after one of our events in Las Vegas last year, another group as well. So, and then the Global Symposium, we just wrapped up last week. So the Global Symposium is about 200 attendees. It was in Barcelona, and it's mostly our European affiliates. We do a press release each year to say, hey, Leading RE got together with their global affiliates, they did business, they shared ideas, they do get together. We do have connections there. The big shindig, I think that's accessible to you guys or of interest to you, is the annual conference. We had about 3,000 attendees here. We have competitor franchise itching to get in. This is exclusive to Leading RE companies. We run about 40 sessions a day. And they come anywhere from Larry Kindle to the Feeding to Ferry to TED speakers to really, really good content and share ideas. So I encourage you, if you're looking for a way to recharge your business, February 18th through the 20th is the Agent Summit. It's also the Luxury Portfolio Summit. The Agent Summit is $599 up until this coming Monday. Goes up, price goes up after Monday. Or $899 for the Luxury Portfolio portion, and that's 2.5 days as well. Same date, 18th through the 19th. I really, really encourage you to, I'm going to show you a little bit of video of a recap of last year.
Before you get into that, can I interrupt you for just to ask you a question on new? Can you describe this at high level, the difference between the two options?
Yeah, sure. Very, luxury portfolio is for anyone who has $1 million plus property. Chris, what's the market here? Is it $1 million plus?
Million plus, yeah.
Yeah, $1 million plus listing, you would probably want to check out the luxury portfolio, or if you're getting into that space, that's luxury portfolio. If not, Agent Summit is where you want to be.
So it has to do with the type of seminar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Question. Oh.
So we each perform different functions. We all benefit from the collective strength, expertise, and global reach of the luminary community.
I am the biggest fan of the Luminary conference. I get so inspired. I love to run from one little class to the next.
I've been so pleased with both the content and how everybody is willing to engage and share. This event certainly embodies the spirit of the network, a vast and talented community dedicated to overcoming obstacles and pushing boundaries.
So quite incredible. I learned so much. I've got so many new business ideas I can bring back to the office and really help grow our department.
Together we've shown that independence does not have to operate alone. Strong real estate professionals attract other strong practitioners. And by working together, we truly can all make the best brokerages better.
So conference.leadingarmy.com. I'll circulate the link to Chris as well, just if you have some interest. And really, guys, I encourage you to check it out. If one of you goes and brings back, we'll bring back a ton of information for the rest of the group. Independence. So let's talk about that. This one is kind of where Michael was telling you guys some insights of what I've captured out in the field, of what our consumers are seeing today, what are the disruptors in the industry, et cetera. So in terms of independence, what percentage of U.S. agents are affiliated with a locally owned brokerage firm or company? 65. 27. 90. We're all over the board. This is good. We've participated. 51% of U.S. Agents are affiliated with independent firms. 10 years ago, that was in the 30s. There has been a shift in the independents, and here is what the rationale is. What makes them so attractive? Well, they appeal to millennials. That is our largest sphere of clientele out there today. And millennials are not eating at chain restaurants. They're not shopping with big brands like they used to. They're kind of anti the brands. And they want the uniqueness of that local vibe. Local coffee shops, local restaurants, local retail, everything has a uniqueness to them. So we're seeing such a shift. And you guys, as realtors, have this in-depth knowledge that your clients are looking for, and that's all generations. You have the local knowledge of where new buildings are being built, what schools look like, and you have a pulse in the market because you've been born and raised in this market. You know the streets, you know what's happening, and that is so key. Your clients can't find that online. They don't know that this is the best spot for young families, or this is close for commuters, etc. In 2008, during the recession, our firms were actually thriving. They knew how to be nimble and adaptive and change on a dime. They didn't look for a big box brand to tell them how to run their business, like a Coldwell Banker or Remax, Keller Williams. I name these because there's some good, credible examples of that. In 2015, Coldwell Banker sold 0 franchises. So we're seeing a real dilution of that, and I'll show you some numbers for that. And then you're creative and entrepreneurial. You know, you do something that's very unique to your clients. You get to know your clients, and you're not ever limited by, like I say, a chain or a brand. You get that own creativity, and your clients look to that. So craft is cool. Everything from coffee houses, the craft brew industry is booming. Even Miller Lite and Bud Light are having delineated brands of their beers, because that's what people want. Even hotel chains. So I'm staying at the Draftsman. Do you know who owns that hotel? It's owned by a Marriott. So you can see even the big brands are getting this vibe and saying, hey, you make this unique, let's make this local, and let's do something about it. And real estate is not exempt. And then even farmers markets, people pay more because they say this is local produce, it's from the young farm, or this is a local product. And so we're seeing that all across the board in every generation. So where do we get beat up? Brand recognition, cutting edge training. Keller Williams was out there training all day long and saying the best training. They probably make more money off the training with their agents than they do off the transactions in some cases. Enterprise scale technology, national and global exposure. Roy Wheeler is a great firm, but they're local in this market, and they can't give you that reach. So we're going to talk about ways to combat that today. So in terms of brand recognition, how many are using this bar chart? I know it's in your CMA, I know it's in your listing presentation. How many are talking about it, and what are you saying?
I use it at times, and I just talk about more a member of this organization that composite, that we represent more of the market as a composite, but we're not one of the big boxes, and that gives us more independence and flexibility, more exposure globally. That's actually what really attracts people, that by affiliating with this organization, that we're getting exposure around the world.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so I really want to encourage you to do this. Come up with your own craft. There's no wrong answer to this. It's really about saying, it's as simple as a 10-second, you know what, I'm affiliated with the best companies that outperform any of the franchises out there to date. We are the local leader here in Charlottesville and throughout, and we have connections to the very best globally and nationally. So, and then, you know, the other part of that is to be a little bit savvy. If you know where that client is coming from, do your research. Name drop the other affiliate and do that. I know it sounds like, well, why do we have to do all this work behind it? That is by design. Leading real estate companies of the world intentionally is the brand behind Roy Wheeler. We never want to be overshadow your brand, and that is very opposite of how other models work. So we're really an affiliation. When you need reach outside this market is when you use us. So I'd rather have you fumble through this a little bit in your first couple listing presentations than not use it at all. Because your clients could say, you know what, Karen's really great, I loved working with her, but I brushed my teeth at night thinking I really need national exposure for this listing. You've got to go beyond that. You've got to predict what their thoughts are for your clients and really make it about them and how it's a benefit to them to have that resource. So I'm going to talk about web exposure in a minute. So just to recap some of the stats I told you about, we did 1.1 million transactions, 372 billion. By the way, that 372 billion, which I should have thought, we are 55 billion over the competition, which is RE/MAX, Section 21, Sotheby's, ERA, etc. I know you guys have limited franchises here that you compete with, but I still think this is impressive enough to say, you know, we may be the local company that's more boutique, but we're affiliated with a powerhouse that outperforms the closest competitor by 55 billion. And just for perspective, Coldwell Banker has dropped to fourth place. They used to be number 2 the last 5 years ago. Okay, 1.1 million transactions, 372 billion, 565 companies, 4,300 offices, 130,000 sales associates in 70 countries. If you can think of just one of these and slide it into your listing presentation, I think that's all you need. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. These are some of the brands we represent all throughout. You know, we have some newer companies to the mix, which is good. It's not kind of our old network. It's still an older network, but we've infiltrated with a lot of strong folks, especially overseas. This is what your listing looks like on leadingra.com, not luxury portfolio, not the marketing high-end one. All price points, all listings, all lifestyle shots. So if you have a land lot, you'll put it on here as well. It's very clean. This does not produce as many e-leads as you would like. because these are only the 565 leading RE companies. So if I'm using this with my client, I'm using it as a marketing tool, saying I'm giving you exposure to the best companies around the world. 565 to be exact are looking at your property on leadingre.com. The amount of detail that we do go through is here, and we get a little bit of a snapshot about the community. What is it like to live there? What are just similar homes in the area, in this market? With the average income, average sales price, weather, you name it. This is especially good for those folks who are coming from outside of the area, Charlottesville area. So leadingre.com, check it out. Automatically, once your listings hit your MLS, they come to a feed through to Leading RE. Training, everybody's favorite topic. So Leading RE 5 or 6 years ago decided, I really need to help supplement the training that our folks are doing on a national level. This is not to take away all the awesome stuff Michael does for you guys at your sales meetings. This is really an enhancement, a supplement to your training. So we developed Institute. It's 24/7 online. I know you guys are one of the companies that is very familiar with this platform. We change the courses each month. There's still 300. It's like drinking from a fire hose. It's quite a bit. They're 10 minutes or less. Good for the ADD crowd. You can do this in your sweatpants at 11 o'clock at night, however you want. I am going to, if you're in there and you're liking what you're seeing, great. For those of you who've never gone in here, I don't want you to. I'm going to send Michael the top courses each month that are taken by our 100,000, what do you want to call them, students, if you will. So for today's session, More Than a Boring Bio Tells Story. I'm going to give you guys a video bio of one of our companies in Colorado, and it's really going to shift for you. Here's what we're finding. I look at bios, they say the same thing. I've been a realtor. This is my industry. I've done this for so many years. I'm passionate about it. Nothing about the client, no shared interest with the client. You're missing the mark. So I'm encouraging you to spice up your bio, talk about what else you love besides real estate to make that connection with a client. Do you have any comments on that? Okay. I thought you were.
But she told me last night she was going to tell me, no, you guys not to go in. We'll have that conversation later. No, but what she is going to do is she said she's going to send these to me so that then we can highlight those. And you still have the ability to go in. One of the things I tell them is they're going after a price reduction. They're going and they're trying to buy off the fence, whatever. It's great to go back in there and be reminded, have somebody to share a 7-minute sort of scenario to kind of.
Michael's right on that part. Yeah, if you need to go in, search it, but I don't want some of you going in who are crazy about this and being like, I can't find this. I'm out. I'll never touch this thing. That's not what I want. So I really, so go in there if you are, you can search it. It is actually going to, the platform's changing by the end of the year. You'll see a new look and feel. It'll be very intuitive, much better.
Again, one other pays for that. That's free for you. Other companies that charge for
Thank
classes.
you, sorry. Yeah, that's the other thing. You guys get the full open kimono here. 300 courses, all access. Other companies have to charge for it. He's paying for it. So if I shame you into that, Michael's paying for it. Descriptions that make your listing stand out. Again, same kind of concept. We're seeing some things that, where they're a little stale, a little boring. You need to differentiate for the client, especially with a shortage of inventory. And then I always put this one in, Mark, about how to say clean up this mess and still get the listing. I recently sold a property and I still didn't get that from my realtor. I wanted a guideline. How much do I need? Do I need to remove the family photos? Are you good with that? They need guidelines, and you are all very different with how you sell your clients' properties, but they need that level of guidance from you. And it's quite emotional for some to take down things. So this will help you navigate that conversation. In addition, you may have seen each month we come out with a global economy highlight. So what do you need to know about Bitcoin? Are there transactions happening in cryptocurrency that you should be aware of? What are we seeing for Brexit? What are we seeing with our regulations, mortgages, all of that? 3 to 4 minute video each month. Sit with your coffee, watch this video. It comes out each month. It's on the home page of the Access platform we have, and really share some insights. You can also have a template that goes to your client. So it's written up. So it positions you as an expert, not only in the real estate realm, but also what's happening in the economy.
Is that like a link that they can,
You could share that link. Chris, you could share that link.
Chris, we could put that on the monthly newsletter, we could add that link to the monthly newsletter that.
You can embed it, probably.
Yeah.
We send it all out to you again.
And then one other thing I failed to mention, and I forgot to tell you too last night, Michael, is we're also going to do some, a quarterly thing on risky business. There's a lot of cybercrime. Cybercrime increased by 38% last year. And we in this industry are the most vulnerable. We're doing a lot of things online in the cloud, transactions with a big piles of money. So we're gonna get you guys up to speed on what the DOJ regulations are in a nice way, so you're aware when you are making those wire transfers to protect yourselves and to the company. Okay, so built-in ROI, brand exposure. You are one of the best companies that gets this. You've done this from day one, and I think it's a tribute to your leadership. We do referrals. We do 100 referrals a day. We close 1 out of 2, 52%. When I was here, that number was quite a little bit lower than that. We do this so well because we've been doing it for years, because we care about it and we care about how to make sure that your clients are getting the best service with the best realtor every time, ad nauseum. So we have folks like Michael in place at every company that are the point person to find the best match for you. I encourage you guys to interview that agent, make sure they're fit, get involved if you would like, or don't. If you're too busy and you trust, say, hey, just find me a realtor for this client, whatever. How many of you have friends and family, or family outside of the Charlottesville area? All of you. Have you serviced them? Or have they gone down to the road to a Century 21 or a Remax, because they know that they can be serviced anywhere with those types of brands? So you have an extra step in the game. You have to bring this up because your clients don't know you have that service, to pair them with a realtor like yourself anywhere in the world. It's a very lucrative business. We see people move very often, and if they're not moving, they're having cocktails with a neighbor who needs that assistance, and say, hey, I just heard from my realtor, she can help you, and in Atlanta, and find you a good match. We do this so often that we did, it was $6 billion last year in this business. It's 3 times more likely to close. You guys can be involved in as much as possible. If you know a market very well, you can make a recommendation. It doesn't have to be a Leading RE member, but for the network to get business, it would be best that it goes to a Leading RE member. Most likely you get that business back if they recognize it's coming from you. Any questions about that? So 2 things, bar chart and the referrals. I want you to do that in your listing presentation.
Sorry to kind of take us back to the bar chart, but tell me in your mind what you tell a customer is the advantage. In a short 1 sentence, you're in the listing presentation, I'm part of Leading RE.
So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I can get you national and global exposure for your property with the best companies in the world that do more business than any franchise.
Perfect.
Could be that.
Okay.
And we're going to get into even more ways to do that. In terms of the referral and building that business, again, remember that's a funnel for a residual business. People had a great experience. They talk to their friends, family. LeadingRE.com/branding is good to get there. So that will give you guys lifestyle pieces or whatever. And then also just, some people always say, well, this is Charlottesville. This is a tight community, people that move out there. I want you to shift that mindset to say, it's really nothing to do with this area. It has everything to do with your sphere of influence. You can literally help someone move from Richmond to Norfolk and get paid on that. Okay, so that's just, I want to put that out there. It's who owns that relationship with that consumer. And there's not many businesses out there, and I don't want to say kickback, but give you money based on your relationships and what you have. Last thing I want to touch on are reviews and what we're seeing. And there's a lot out there today. There's a lot of new models out there. And what we're finding from consumers are a few things. One is they really make decisions on products, services, restaurants based on reviews. Think about the last time you went somewhere, or buy a refrigerator, did you look at what people were saying about that product or service or restaurant? Most likely. So 90% of consumers read reviews before even visiting a business or looking at it. And then 84% of people trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation these days. It's kind of like they'd rather go to the stranger and hear what their thoughts are, because there's more integrity behind that comment than there is from maybe a friend who's promoting it. So what we found and what our consumers are looking for in a good realtor, very real estate 101, responsiveness. If you're not communicating with them, you've lost that client. They think you're on to someone else, they think you're working with someone else, and that they're not important or a priority. So the minute you leave an open house, you email that seller or text that seller about what that open house looks like. They're waiting by the phone for that level of update, even if it was dry. So over responsiveness, knowledge is key. Not only about the real estate process, especially for those millennials, but about everything in such. So some of the best agents I know, they go into aligning with maybe a designer to rehab an old home, a boomer home, who's not going to change the wallpaper or do anything to touch that house to put it on the market. So they bring in when they're showing, what are the resources to take down load-bearing walls, wallpaper, paint. Those things are so key. You guys you don't need to give them pricing. That's the kind of maybe puts you in a vulnerable position, but it's really about lining up with the handyman, plumbers, architects in the area, especially for some of the older homes. And then delivering the wow factor, going above and beyond. I know an agent each year that sends her clients the paperwork for tax purposes. Just those types of things that they struggle with, like, oh, what was the closing? What do I need to do? Where's all that paperwork? Every year she sends it to. I know another agent who does a check-in 30 days after that client has been in the house. How's it going? 60 days. Hey, it's been 2 months. How are you liking this property? Because you're top of mind, and that experience continues on for potential residual business. And then the last thing I want to mention, just kind of in terms of disruptors, in very big metro markets, we're seeing a lot of huge companies coming in, making an impact. Compass, if you've heard of that, they're heavy in the DC market. They're a brokerage out of New York. They have about 1.2 billion in venture capital funding. So they're making a huge impact. Purplebricks, EXP, you may have heard of them, Opendoor, Zillow, Instant Offers. So what we're finding and what we're identifying is that some of these are true disruptors, especially for the iBuyers out there. And there are some iBuyers that will be clientele now or in the future, but it's a very, very small percentage. And here's the rationale behind it. iBuying, or this virtual brokerage concept, where the client can have more control and do more, can lead to a huge error. And this transaction of purchasing a home happens once now every 10 years. It's actually grown. So it's not like an Uber ride where I can be in control as a consumer, like a discounted thing. This is a very large purchase that happens once every 10 years. So what we're finding is full service models will thrive, and the iBuyer concept will hit a very few, because of the length of the time in which the transaction happens, the amount of money involved in the transaction. So again, I use the concept of an Uber ride. That's great to do things virtually there, but that's a $5, $10, $20 thing. This is a huge purchase of a home. So that's kind of what we're seeing in industry. We'll see more of that. We often are publishing or getting key information about what we're seeing and some of the disruptors out there as well. So before I switch over to luxury portfolio, I want you guys to remember only the best qualify for leading real estate companies in the world. We have more sales, more agents, more offices, more global, more referrals than any other network or group of community of brokerage companies out there. I want you to mention the bar chart on your next listing presentation. Consider attending one of the agent summits. Luxury portfolio if you deal with the high end, and the agent summit if you don't. They're both February 18th through the 20th at the Wynn, Las Vegas. And I want you to think about your last 4 clients. And have you been able to capture that business, or do you need to take a step back and start reaching out to those clients to tell them about the amazing resource you have. So just to really give you the best script we can, you have the connections to the very best brokers for your worldwide implementation-only network. Leading RE has 565 market-leading firms all over the world, 70 countries. You connect tens and thousands of buyers each year through this network, and Leading RE really provides you with marketing, not to make you successful, but to make you guys better than you already are. You don't need us. We're just here to kind of raise that level for you and give you that national and global reach. Questions before I'm going to spend probably 8 minutes on luxury portfolio.
And you said that,
Yeah.
I don't remember how it was.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
I do have a question. I've never done a referral through you. If I call my agent to refer, is it possible for me to talk to the agent who's on the other
We
end
encourage it.
and underwrite them? So let's say I don't like what they say.
Yes, we want that. That happens all the time. That's why we have that 52%. Not all the time, but a lot of times it does. And we salvage and say, that's not the right fit. You have it, you know your client. That's
Might
not the
add
right.
value.
Yeah.
The one value is damaged.
Yep. And we do that also when your clients say, hey, I'm working with someone from Keller Williams. I'm all set. Thank you. You, as an advisor, say, you know what, you really ought to interview another agent. Just to make sure. And I gotta say, I've done this with my brother in LA. He was working with Keller Williams. That's okay. But you don't, family are the worst. They don't, you can talk to them all day long about what you do and they don't know. And I said, you know, you really ought to get set up with one of our companies, Normand in Beverly Hills. They sold it over $20,000 over asking in 2 months flat. Very happy with that. It was a black and white difference between the Keller Williams agent, and I mean, that's not always the case, but a lot of times it is, between the Keller Williams agent and a Normand, which was one of our affiliates. So. And you know, the thing too that's speedy is my brother and I were both going, we were at the airport going in different directions, and I had this 10-second conversation, like, you really ought to interview. Just let me hook you up with an agent. I called the relocation director at Normand. By the time I got off the flight, the agent had contacted my brother. That's how fast set up to meet him within that week. So that's the thing, you got like an extension of a full service concierge on your side. So why not give your clients that benefit? Okay, luxury portfolio. Luxury portfolio is a subsidiary of leading real estate companies in the world. You cannot be part of luxury portfolio without being a leading RE member, but you can be leading RE without being luxury. Doesn't mean the rest of the companies are crap who aren't luxury portfolio, but out of the 550, they're just in an area where it doesn't warrant. Like I was in Lynchburg, they've never been luxury. They don't have anything in the 700 to 800 to 900 that warrants this program for them to pay for. So, but they're an awesome company. They're, you know, number one, number two. So of the 565 members, half of them are in luxury portfolio. So what is it? It's really consumer facing. So you notice the leading RE stuff is really behind the scenes. This is one that's actually out front to your consumer for a brand. It's exclusive to leading RE, gives your listings exposure. What I really want to say here is it really carves out this listing from the pack, which is what this client wants. If you have something in the million plus, they don't want to be put on just your website. They want another website. So that we'll get into that. Resources, education, consumer insights on this, and then connect with the finest group of brokers around the world. So how it works, sorry, that should be $9.99 for your listing. 5 photos. I would hope if you have a million plus that you do have 5 photos on your property, and that they're decent. And then we have a group that will do quality control. They look at every single property. Once it hits, it takes 2 to 3 days to get onto luxuryportfolio.com. This is how we stack up in terms of market share against Sotheby's, CB, KW, Christie's, Knight Frank, Mayfair International. We have way more listings than they do out there. We do this once every 6 months as we look at those numbers. 87% of our listings are over $1 million. Sometimes we take price reductions. So that accounts for some of that portion. Coldwell Banker has 66% of their listings over $1 million, and shocking for some, have Sotheby's in market. Sotheby's only has 46 of their listings, not even half are over the $1 million mark. KW 28. Web stats, 3 million high net worth visitors a year. That may not seem like a big number, and that's intentional. You don't want everybody looking at this site. You want the people with the money who are fluent, who can afford it, to be interested in these listings. 50,000 homes marketed each year, a lot of celebrity homes, 2,000 countries, regions each month. We translate your ad copy into 9 languages in 60 plus currencies. Now I stayed here at UVA, and I've been here, every year. I've never seen so many Asian students as I had now. And I think you guys are around the cusp. If you haven't had an Asian client now, you will in the near future, is my belief. We're seeing it all over, especially in the universities, and their parents are just buying probably that villa right off the bat, that sight unseen, not even moving out. 50% of the traffic we're seeing is mobile devices. I fly very frequently, like 3 times of the month, and I barely have to shut down my iPhone. Like, and at some place, I've not even had to shut off my phone at all for Wi-Fi purposes. So you're seeing the accessibility of Wi-Fi all over, and people are making large purchases, signing lots of documentation from their simple iPhone or Mac or a tablet. And they're also looking at big properties, making listing appointments, doing that. This is a little bit of what the company keeps. So we have 61 billion in inventory. The average property price is 2.7 on luxury portfolio. This is what the properties look like. If you have a cool 75 mil, this baby is available in Lake Tahoe, and then so on. You'll notice that with luxury portfolio, it's not kind of just the exterior photo. This is lifestyle. These people don't need shelter. They want that at the end of the day, you know? Whether it's the kitchen or the doggy door or whatever, they buy it for that. So think about that when you're putting in that first photo for photography, what's going to capture this consumer. But you guys also have some really good historical properties. I guess the old rule, some for us, is sunset or dusk, lights on in the house, and take the photo. That's the shot we look for. Ad copies there, we go through everything, and then there's ways in which to share this listing to your client. So I want to talk about 5 quick tools. One is the Lux introduction letter. This is hands down, no cost to you. You can send your prospective client, seller, recent lister, buyer, a letter, endorsement from us talking about you and what your client wants to hear about you. It's scripted. It goes out, you get 25 each year. We do nothing with that client's information but send this letter out at your request. Some of you are a little control freaks, you want that letter to have it. I think there's less credibility or less endorsement if you bring the letter with you that's signed by us. You also can give them the letter, this is great farming tool, letter with the 2 magazine options, the luxury portfolio, which is very lifestyle. What's the technology, smart homes, travel. It has a few properties in there, but they're more historical stories. And then that comes out 2 issues per year, or you can do Lux Interiors and Design for $5, 6 issues. And it can go with that letter. So I'm going to reference Chris. Any questions you have, go to him on this. And then if you're leaving today and you say, darn, I have like a good property that could be $1 million, we have luxurylistingpresentation.com. That is on the fly. You can literally go to that, check out that. It will give you all the kind of bells and whistles of the program and the speaking points to your clients. And then the third tool is Lux Analytics. This is a seller report that shows your client, once you've got the listing, how their property is being viewed by country, currency, region, state, city, non-US region. You can, as a busy realtor, you can automate this so that your clients can get this twice a month, once a month. You can go in there and it looks like this, heat map where the traffic's coming from. And this is also a great price reduction tool. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we're seeing a lot of traffic globally on this, but no bites. So we may want to consider either switching up photos, price reduction, etc. White paper, we'll get into that. I'm going to skip through that. Global exposure digitally, regardless if you advertise, Your listings are displayed on leadingre.com, wallstreetjournal.com, countrylife.com, etc. So you can also promote that and add that to your portal. So again, for the 1 million plus, we syndicate to the Wall Street Journal automatically your listing online. And then the fourth thing I think I'm on are these online banner ads. If you're looking for a very reasonable way to do a marketing plan for a 1 million plus property, this is the place to be. It's $110. It's a banner ad online, and it gets produced on certain websites like CNN or Forbes.com. This one is ESPN's website. It showcases in 12 to 15 miles radius of that client's property. So if I'm a client down the road here, and you listed my property and you've done one of these banner ads, if I'm a client who's a sports geek and I go to ESPN, I may be able to see my property being targeted or being promoted through this banner ad system. 110, 3 weeks, great exposure and a great selling point to your client. And then the other thing for you, and I just want to wrap this up, this is the last tool, the fifth tool, is if you're looking into getting into the luxury portfolio sphere, you can do the sphere of influence banner ads. That's more about you promoting yourself out to the consumer. It's like the modern day postcard that you can drop in or mailer. And that is also, we need 100 contacts with 85 months or 85 per month for 3 months minimum. And you can run that. Again, we don't do anything with that client data. And then any questions, if you guys really are kind of self-learners, you want to go into this, you can go to support.luxuryportfolio.com and you will find some of these things. Where do I put those LP logos on my business card? How can I order Lux Tour? And some of the things we didn't cover. So we kind of scratched the surface. That is it.
Stacy, one thing that you didn't do in the first part that I think is a good thing for them to remember is the city-by-city analysis.
Oh, yeah. I haven't done that in a while.
Somebody coming from Louisville,
Yeah.
Kentucky to Charlottesville, you can literally go online, you can put both of them in, print that out, and send that.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an
I haven't done that.
incredible tool.
I haven't done that in a while. Yeah, you guys can literally, through leadingre.com, and Chris can help you and I can help him. There's a comparison of the cost of living, the schools in the area, and you can really take it. You could do Richmond and Charlottesville and paint that out for your clients.
You can even, again, do it, and then you've got the Charlottesville demographic. So in your listing presentation, you're talking about these are the types of people, blah, blah, blah. So it's really a good.
Yeah, I haven't done that. So it's researcher community is the language to find it, and it should be on our homepage if I get it. The other thing we're going to be doing, which you see, I know it's Jonathan. The other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing analytics on leadingre.com. I want to caveat that we don't get an awful lot of traffic because again, we're not IDXing our listings. It's only Leading RE company listings. We don't have everybody else's brother or sister down the road. So our consumers are got a limited scope, but we still feel it was a valuable asset.
What kind of information? What kind of?
Like, states where we're seeing traffic from different states. So it's very,
Average price, on market.
yeah, I think.
No, it's more about who's searching the site.
Yeah.
You know, what
Where's
listings, what
traffic
states are
coming
getting the activity.
Demographics.
Yeah.
Geographic.
Yeah, geographical, it's much more limited than Google Analytics, and again, for the purpose of, we don't drive that much traffic for the market.
But you do have access to a bunch of different companies, that you pointed out.
Yep.
That have.
Yes,
they
you
have
can see,
analytics,
you guys
and
can
they
see
have
that,
information.
you could also see
which.
which companies are driving, of ours are driving business to your market. Like John Scott in Seattle, they're a big driver, or Amity. That's it?
Questions? Thoughts? We're going back to the referral, you're not a huge component of that. And I tell you that when you're sending your announcements out to, as a new agent, to your sphere of influence, or you're sending a letter out to your sphere of influence, every couple, 3 months, you should remind people, hey, we're all over the place. If you know somebody moving from Kalamazoo to, Tuscaloosa, we can help find a listing agent, we can find a buyer agent. And, those are people that trust you and believe in you. There's a very good chance it's going to happen. I mean, for me, it just happened good friend of mine here, told me his son was moving from Mobile to Richmond. And so I referred him to an agent, in Richmond, to help, and then they had trouble with their listing. So the guy reached back out to me and said, look, you know, we've got an agent that we're not happy with. Can you put us in touch with somebody? And, you know, bad news for me. We put them in touch with somebody they really like. Good news for them. They got a contract the next day on the property, and should have sold 6 months before. But the listing engineer never said that they needed a different route to qualify for a certain type of financing that was prevalent financing. But the point is, one, ultimately, those referrals, it's nice to get those checks, those supplemental checks. But two, again, it's another way of you being the source for the source. You know, that's another way that they're always coming to you whenever they think about real estate, whether it's in Charlottesville or anywhere. They know I can call Bob Hauser, I can call Matt, I can call Pam Maloney, and I know they'll give me the answer to what I need. And so just remind people as it relates to that. And Chris, just a note, you know, we probably ought to remind every quarter or so of that electronic newsletter. We should have something in there about if you know anybody who's thinking about moving anywhere in the country or in the world, you know, let us know because of our Lee Murray affiliation. So.
And you guys can pipe up, sorry, I'm putting more work to Chris, pipe up to Chris. You know, what is it you need? Do you want a hard copy flyer in your CMA to say that you have 1,000 examples to steal from? Do you want a map at your sales meeting to say this, you know, Bob placed a referral in Denver with a little point of picture of Bob or whatever, you know, whatever it is that's going to help keep it top of mind for you. There's plenty of ways in which we can do that. We can do it all day.
How do we initiate a referral out of Louisville?
We mean out of Louisville.
In other words, we have a referral. How do we initiate that process?
We just go to Rita. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, Rita, thank you for putting that all on the table. Yeah. You know, Rita is our relocation coordinator. And so if you have somebody, just reach out to Rita, and she'll put you in touch with somebody. If you want to interview them first, tell her that so that she can tell that. And if it's a second opinion, like the situation that I just had, hey, the people aren't happy with the seller, they're thinking about making a move. Well, you let that agent know that, so they go in knowing that, you know, hey, they're already thinking about one agent, but they want to have a second opinion. Give them the opportunity to know where they stand, and you're still going to get an agent that's going to be willing to do it. But yes, you can, you know, you talk to Chris can put you in touch with Rita, you talk to me. But where I thought you were going is, Dan, and I'll say this, is if you have an agent through Buffini or something like that you want to place a referral with, and they're not part of Leading RE, you can still do that on your own. You can refer that out. Now you need to understand that we're still going to pay, when that referral comes in, we're still going to pay 20% out to Leading RE for our contract to be part of the network. You still have control if you want to do it outside the neighborhood. You've got somebody that you know and you want to do it with. We're not stopping you from doing that, but our contract says that another referral comes in, referral comes, and that's how we, you know, stay in good standing with Leading RE. So it's a great service. I mean, you know, you guys know this. I do more outbound referrals than anybody else in the country. I mean, in the company, not the country. The company. That was definitely a plus statement right there. I literally have an agent in Northern Virginia that made $50,000 a year on outbound referrals because that's what she did. She just constantly was letting people know, and she made $50,000 just make a phone call, an email. And where you're talking for sale by owners. Where are you moving? I'm moving to such and such. Have you talked to an agent there? Well, I can help you with that. You may never get the for sale by owner listing, but you may get a check in because they end up using the agent in Seattle. And the only reason that I do more than anybody else is it's just something that it's a wide angle lens. I hear it and I ask them, and nobody ever is offended when I ask them if they need help. They say, no, I've got it. Okay, great, super. So. Any other questions for Stacy? You got her here. We don't get her often, so if you have any questions at all, please. All right.
I'll stick around.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Chris has created several templates for, are you thinking about selling your home? Postcards that you can, for about $1, including printing, postage and everything, you can send into a neighborhood that talks about, the fall, getting prepared, even if you're thinking about next year, now's the time to start thinking about talking to an agent. They work. You talk to anybody in the company that sends these type of letters out, they get responses back. I'd really encourage you to look at an area, price range, a place that you think is going to be active this fall or in spring, and do that. The best way of doing that is to do it and do it a couple times. And even better than that, that you would follow up by walking around and talking to people in that neighborhood, introducing yourself, doing face-to-face. But it's there. Chris is ready to help you in whatever way he can as it relates to that. I believe that there are a lot of people that are sort of passively thinking that, it may be time for me to sell my house. And, it's up to us to put our names in front of them to make that happen. So we just put those together in the last couple of weeks, and 3 or 4 different templates that you can use. We can find, the nicest thing you can find, choose on a neighborhood, and you find that we have a couple listings that are sold in there. Use the templates and put those properties in there saying recently sold by a realtor or whatever, so that there's a credibility that gets established in that situation. Keep that in mind. Just, moving forward, Jay, you want to talk a little bit real quick about the 19th in regards to what that is, that seminar that you guys are doing?
Yes, I got a couple things on me, come on, but I'll be fast.
And by the way, I'm gonna need your business cards again. I'll wait until you get them, but Jeremy just reached in there and stole them all and walked out the door. So I'm sure you're gonna be hearing from him if you put your business card in there. And I don't think it's because you want to draw it. So if you're interested, make sure so you have a chance to win one of the door prizes.
Okay, this should come out yesterday, I think it sent, but
I think it was this morning, maybe.
this morning, okay. But anyway, October 19th at CAR, we have a pop-up event with Women's Council of Realtors. We're bringing the guy in from VHJ. Some of you guys have seen him before, some have not. But it's good, first-time home buyers. Things called programs help to sell homes. There's Freddie Mac.
Matt brought 500 hoping he was going to win right here.
Freddie Mac program. There's another thing about the move mortgage and about the e-signing closing documents, stuff like that. That's good. Also, we'll have a lunch and learn at the end of this month. Betsy has requested this Italian wedding soup. So I'll be serving that. That's going to be the 24th, 25th, depending upon what we hear back from Hope. We're going to try to tie it in with the same day as Hope Paint. Also, next month in November, we've got our annual chili cook-off, the benefit toy lift. That's on the Friday, the 16th of November. Okay, so please plan on attending. If you have, if you are a cook and can make some nice chili, we're looking for a few more contestants.
We'd like to have at least one from each office is one of the things that we do like. And he does make the second best Italian wedding soup I've ever tasted. Dottie's extraordinary.
I haven't tasted, but I've conceded last year I made Italian wedding soup for the first time, just because I had it on my mind and my grandmother used to make it. I'd love to taste the Dottie's soup. I made it in something.
I'll make sure she does that.
I'll probably get a recipe then.
Can I get Roy's card? Okay. Let's see what we got here in my pocket. We're giving away today. Okay, we've got 2 $1 lottery tickets. Barb Kelly, recently back from Colorado, visiting her high school classmates. She's driven cross country twice now in the last month, just so you know. And John Green, thank Matt Dillon for the card that he gave you. $2 lottery tickets going to either Dan or Sue Ann, whoever put that in. And last but not least, 2 tickets to the Miami game on October 13th. Caroline, So congratulations. Thank you, Stacy. Dan, go ahead.
Two things if I may. Number one, the subdivision plan that was talked about tonight in the packet. Jeremy's gonna send an electronic copy. I'll get it to.
He'll send it to your email that you had on your business cards.
That may be true. And one other quick point about Ryan Homes, right in the village in front of Glenmore, they're open, they're kind of doing a direct contact. They're not really fully open to the realtor community, even though they're listed now. Key point of information, they have 3 villa homes available right now that are completed, and the price range of 422 to 510. So, point of information, want to know a little bit more, I'm glad to talk to you.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate the turnout.
Probably small potatoes, real estate.